Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right in. This is your guide to Barrows Brothers. Let's go over the locations and routes. We're going to go ahead and talk about where it's at. It's in Morytania, to the right of Mor'ton. The first way we're going to talk about how to get there, it's going to be kind of important, is the fairy ring. That code is going to be BIP, as well as it does require level 50 agility for the shortcut. I'm only going to talk about 3 ways to get to Barrows because really these are the most convenient. And if you're not using these, you're honestly just making your trips much longer. The second one is the minigame teleport. Now that does have a 30-minute cooldown, but is also very convenient, especially if you're just AFKing this to get some runs in for the day. Last but not least, we're going to jump into the 1 and 3. That's the house teleports, as well as the Barrows teleport tablet. With the house teleport, we have 2. We have the portal nexus and the portals on the wall. All 3 of these will take you to the same location. Barrows tablet's going to end you in the same spot as these portals do. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the requirements that are going to be needed for this. The first requirement we're going to go over is the quest, that is Priest in Peril. That is going to be a requirement to even access Morytania and get to the Mor'ton area. The second thing is prayer. You are going to want to pray a lot of these fights. It just speeds up the kills. Something important we need to go over before we proceed is the hilt from the combat achievements and the increased rewards from the hard Morytania achievement diaries. The hilt is just going to reduce prayer drain, which happens every 15 seconds when you are inside the catacombs. Next, we're going to go ahead and jump into armor slotting. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. This is what I would consider the least effective to simply not the most effective, but close to it. Those are some inventories. If you kind of need an idea of what to bring, everybody can figure out what they like, but that's just what I wanted to throw out there. Next, we're going to go over the actual order. Go ahead and pause the video again. This is the most convenient order. Lucky for me, when I grinded this on the Iron Man, I kind of built my own pathing. So as you can see, when Verac is the actual tunnel that's going to take us underground, and you'll understand what I mean later, we're going to want to skip him and jump right into Ahrim's. Now, for Verac, it is something I want to note. You are going to need some prayer at the end, so either have a prayer potion, have the hilt, or save as much prayer as you can. Next, we're going to talk about Ahrim, and Ahrim is a mage user, so let's go ahead and pray mage. His weakness is range. You can use melee, but I would not suggest it. Next, we're going to go ahead and jump into Verac. If you were running on an Iron Man and you didn't have a lot of prayer, I would go Kharl's next and then Verac for simplicity, so you could use that prayer against Kharl since there is drain. Verac can hit through prayer, so it is not completely necessary to pray here unless you're praying augury or something like Mystic Might, just to kind of increase. Now, as you can see, I did drop an entangle. You can drop a snare. This is just for convenience because he does hit through prayer. So I just want to make it easy, take as little damage as possible, and speed up these runs. Alright, the next thing we're going to go ahead and jump into, that's going to be Torag. Torag is the melee user. He does not hit through prayer, thank God. So we can stick to our magic and pray melee, and we should blow right through this. Another easy kill. Gaining us the points we need. Side note, and you will see this near the end of the video, you do want to kill all 6 brothers for those reward points. If you're going to do it, you might as well just do it right. It's so easy. Now, one thing to note here again with that snare entangle that we talked about earlier, if you need to use that because you're a lower level, it will make your life so easy. Alright, let's go ahead and head over to Kharl's. Kharl uses range, so we do want to pray range. From my experience here, if you are a medium to low level, you do get hit a lot, especially if you're not using good range tank gear. Say you're trying to get that magic DPS output pretty high. So we're going to go ahead and pray range and try to speed through this kill. Now as you can see, I'm using the hilt through all of these, so I'm not getting that prayer drain, which is kind of key to not having to use prayer potions. Especially again if you're on the Iron Man, the Ultimate Iron Man, whatever the case may be, you don't really want to waste your resources. So finding the little tips and tricks like this can really make this convenient for you. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and jump into Guthans. Guthans is another easy one. He is melee, so we're just going to stick with his counter, which is mage. We're going to pray melee. Again, use that snare and entangle if it's convenient. And we're going to go ahead and just blow through this kill as fast as we can. The higher DPS mage you're hitting, obviously, the more prayer you can keep for the end, especially when you have to deal with Verac last. Alright, 5 of the 6 brothers killed, and there is always going to be one doorway into the actual catacombs. We got a little unlucky. It was Ferox who has the underground passage, but let's go ahead and come down here. One thing I do want to go ahead and throw up there and note is the plugins. You can see as on the left, the brothers are there with the point potential, and you can see my doors are highlighted red and green based on what I can go through. Now there is a lockpick you can obtain to get through those red doors if you're into that, but that's honestly a little extra work because they are not infinite usage. You would need to keep collecting more. One quick note I want to throw in while we have the point system up for you. Where that yellow tile is where the ladders spawn in all 4 corners of this catacombs. There's little ladder spots. I have mine tile marked. Obviously this is where the ladder would be if you came down on this brother's end. But yes, you can use those as a safe spot, especially if the brother's in the room. That is huge because then you can shoot mage through the ladder and not have to worry about taking damage. Now as you can see at the bottom, we're trying to hit the reward potential. So let's go on and jump into the last kill, that is Verac. Now Verac has a special ability. The lower he gets, the higher he can hit you for. So it is crucial that we either snare him and keep the distance, or we always keep that protect from melee on. Because the next thing you know, you could be hit for a pretty hefty max hit. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to slow it down for a second so you can see when you actually find the door you need to go through to get to the chest. It's going to ask you 1 of 3, if I'm not mistaken, questions. Now with that indicator from the Runelite plugin, it is always going to give you the correct answer, something just to make life a little convenient and easy. And as you can see right here, I am at 78.75. The goal is to try to be in between 86 to 88 points. That's really about the sweet spot for maximum potential of runes, which is great for irons and again for anyone really just trying to make some money. Alright, let's see. What are the possibilities we can get here? On average, if you're doing all 6 brothers kills and hitting about 86 to 88 points, you should be averaging a 1 in 14. Now we all know this is RuneScape, but it should be 1 in 14, so let's see how lucky we get today. Oh, this game's fucking trash. Oh, I'm out of here. Fuck that. Alright, guide's over. You guys are great. This game's garbage. RNG shit. Love you guys. Great. Alright, whatever. Fuck this game.